Good morning, guys. Today we're going to look at a fire starter from, it's called Production Hanger 51. We're looking at the FOG-H77A and the fat rope stick. So these two fire starters. This first one is kind of like a almost like a mop head infused with paraffin wax, maybe some other accelerants, that's wrapped real tight, and you kind of just shave it off, fluff it up, and you're good to go. And then this one is the engineered fat wood. So you can use this as tinder, kindling. You can split it down, build a little fire just with this. We're going to give both of them a shot, and we're going to see how they work. I got some wood out here. I got to make some char cloth, so we're going to start up a little fire on this stump and have at it. First up, we're going to put down a little bit of a, not quite a fire lay, we're going to see how it does on top of the surface. We're just going to put up the backboard, obviously snowy frozen stump. We got some split wood here. So this is what we're going to try to get going. I'm leaving it thick just to see if how well these fire starters work. And then I got a bunch more once this gets started. So let's start with the first one. So I've used this one quite a bit from both ends. Originally what I was doing was I was cutting off a chunk, then fluffing up all the fibers, and I was given a tip on how to make this more efficient and go a little bit faster. So I'm gonna peel back some of that paper, and we're just gonna sit here and we're gonna shave a pile. And this basically, doing it like this, like chamfering, fluffs it at the same time. So, I don't know how much to use. I'm gonna use a decent amount. After all, it's winter. Got some cold weather fire starting here. So just make sure that it actually goes up. Alright. Switching on my fire steel. Using my practice fire steel. We got a little piece here that took a spark. Let's see if that spreads. We'll throw some kindling on top of that. Whoa. There we go. Alright, so it's spreading. There's a couple pieces of kindling on top. Let's just see if it'll catch some of these pieces. If it does, we'll call it a success, and we'll move on to the fat wood, the engineered fat wood. And if it doesn't, well, we'll move on to the engineered fat wood. It's crackling away, it's burning off that moisture underneath. This wood's pretty dry. It was in my wood pile, but my wood pile is exposed to the snow, so any moisture that would have gotten in it is definitely in there and frozen. This definitely is not wet tinder. This is pretty dry. So it should be able to do it. It shouldn't be that much of a challenge. And it looks like it's doing good. There's still quite a bit in there, burning away. Looks like it's getting the wood lit. I split this right now, so it kind of landed in the snow during working, so it does have some moisture in it. Definitely cooking that moisture out. I think this stuff is definitely on fire. Yeah. So this would work. And then that's the pile that's left right now. It's kind of just smoldering now. I think if I fluff it, there's still a lot of material there. But it's the fact that it's melting all that ice underneath it. But I think it'll relight. It smells like paraffin. I don't know what else is in it, but it smells very strong of paraffin. So there's quite a bit of unburned material. And that's the only thing I don't like right now. But of course, this is on a wet stump. If this was dry, it'd be different. I think it's pretty much kaput. So there's a lot left there, but it's because it sucked all that moisture out of the stump. We'll push that off to the side. For right now, let's take a look at the fatwood stick. Alright, so when you open up the fatwood stick, this is what it looks like. It just looks like a chunk of wood. I've played with this a bit already. You should be able to scrape it just like fatwood. So, would be this version of Maya dust. I guess engineered Maya dust. I've done testing with this already. I did a heat output test versus natural fatwood versus this. This was just a little bit hotter with my one test run at 15 degrees hotter. But the burn time was shorter. It was the same exact amount of fatwood by weight, shaved exactly the same way. This one just came out a little bit warmer, but burned a lot faster than traditional fatwood or natural fatwood. So, this is very, very light shavings. It's definitely lighter than a chunk of fatwood. We'll see how that does in getting our tinder going or our kindling going. I think they already, production hanger 51 has already come out with a version 2 of this after I bought it and got it. So they might have made some changes. Let's see how that goes. And get my kindling on standby here. It's gonna go fast. So I got my 3 pieces right off here to the side. This should accept a spark really easily. There we go. And we're off to the races. Might not be enough to get it going, but we're gonna see. If not, we'll do some shavings, we'll do some more scrapings, and we'll try it again. The practicality of this versus actual fatwood, so if you carry a piece of fatwood in your kit, I would say that fatwood, natural fatwood, is superior to this. Longer burn time, basically the same functions. Burns hotter for longer. This burns hotter, but for less time. I don't know about the waterproof standards. I know that the fat rope stick is very, very waterproof. So I would assume that it's almost or exactly the same, if not even more waterproof. This has wonderfully burnt itself out before it has caught any of our kindling. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take some shavings here. softer. It's definitely softer than fat wood. Definitely easier to work with. I could break this whole stick down and use it for a fire. So we're going to take a nice pile of shavings. A little bit more. It's a bit crumbly feeling, just because it's less dense, probably. Take some fluff. But natural fat wood I actually find superior to this. Some might not agree. Some might not have fat wood in their area. So for somebody else, but for me, I have tons of it. I was just curious how this worked. Let's go ahead and give it a go. You know, working on damp tinder sources, or even on a damp ground, is pretty close to reality. So this isn't too far off. Let's go this way. Give it a little bit more airflow. Let's see how that goes. Hope that should catch. If that doesn't catch, I'll be really surprised. But if you guys don't carry fat wood in your kit, or you might want to maybe throw it in your car, it's supposed to be an emergency fire starter, kind of like an all-in-one product, where you can basically just run a fire, or a very small fire off of that, as you have maybe very wet kindling or very wet tinder that you have to get going. You can definitely hear the sizzle. All that sizzles from the moisture being burnt off of that log or that stump. Take a look down inside. It's burning, and I definitely think it's caught, so it took quite a bit of material, but I probably would have used a similar amount of fat wood in reality to get this going. It's supposed to be very windproof. I've never found fat wood to not be windproof. So that was just me testing the windproofedness of it. I had started charring these pieces. I have a little bit of flame. So with proper materials, it would work. I have a whole bunch more of this fat wood stuff in here. And it's actually caught the fat rope stick on fire. Let's see. That little bit of that fat rope stick is back on fire. I actually do want a fire now. So as that slowly comes back to life, put another brace on this side. I want to do some char cloth, so I definitely want to get a little bit of a fire going. I'll probably have to shave off some more fat rope stick. I think the fat rope stick is more efficient than the engineered fat wood. I think it's a little bit more effective. These flames licked up pretty high. I almost lit the fire starter on fire, oddly enough. Let's get these pieces relit. We'll get the char cloth on. As that gets going, in conclusion, I already said it, The fat rope stick, I think, is more effective than the actual engineered fat wood. I think natural fat wood is far more efficient. It puts out heat for longer, burns longer for the same exact weight in fire starter. I've never had an issue, never had a failure point with fat wood. It's never not worked for me. I could see needing this if you're in an area where you don't have fat wood and you want to try it, but I think the fat rope stick is a viable fire starter. It's pretty lightweight, it's pretty compact, you can cut it up, you can pre-fluff it, you can just store it in the stick, cut it in half. There's a million different options for that. So if you guys liked what you saw and you're curious about the products, check out Fiddleback Outpost has the fat rope stick for the United States, and then Production Hanger 51 is the producer of several different fire starters, and they're out of Canada. But you guys can go ahead and check them out and buy their products if you like them. If you like what you saw here and you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and click subscribe, and don't forget to like and share. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.